Hi book lovers and welcome back to my channel. Today we are diving into a whirlwind of recent reads. The ones that had me head over heels or the ones that had me scratching my head. So get ready for a roller coaster of opinions, thoughts, and who knows what as we dive into these books. So this is recent reads, love them or loathe them. Let's get into it. My name is Giselle and I hope you have been reading incredible books because I sure have. I have been binge reading and I have read quite a few books already for the month of August. So I'm excited to spill the tea on what I've been reading. First up, I read Jordon by Jade Royal and this I did not enjoy. It was a novella, okay, fine, but it was a second chance and I love a second chance. Like a second chance can't do no wrong. This is a nice story. I like the plot in the story, but it should have been like a full book in my opinion. So in this book, he runs a security company. He's out protecting someone, right? He's on duty with someone. Turns out he meets his ex, Maya, and he always regretted losing Maya. He cheated on Maya and he always wished that he could get his second chance. So he sees Maya, he approaches Maya, they talk. Then he sees a little Maya and this little Maya has some of his features. He's like, oh, we had a kid and you never told me anything. So they have been separated for a while. Turns out Maya has a whole fiance. The breakup between her and her fiance was just too quick. It was just like, oh, I didn't have deep feelings for you. That's your fiance. You shouldn't break up so fast. That just doesn't make sense to me. Then he gets into the picture. You have some BDSM. The guy comes back. He's part of a gang. And you want to tell me there's no repercussion? Nah. I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that. So I didn't like this one. I have books from the A-Hole Club series. This is an interracial romance series. Guys, oh my goodness. These guys, they met via a car accident. Someone actually died in the car accident. All we know is that these individuals that lived to tell the tale could not stand that person. And from the prologue of each book, you get everyone's take on what happened or what they were doing that night or what were their intentions for that night. And then we have this very colorful character, Skittles. She brings the guys together. She realized that they all have something in common. They are all broken in some type of way. They all have experienced something, and so she brings them together and they become lifelong friends. I absolutely love the brotherhood in this series because they support each other, they look out for each other, and they know that yes, their families may not have their back, but they have each other's back. Now, just from the name of the series, you know that these individuals are a-holes, period. And I love that. Listen, their mouths are just messy. They are just despicable. So in Pit, we meet Pit and Skittles. They were part of the accident. They bond. But the thing is, Pit always had feelings for Skittles, but Pit always thought that Skittles was interested in someone else, and that someone else is part of their group, so he never wanted to cross that line. Fast forward 12 years. It took them 12 years to figure out that they were interested in each other. But listen, when they finally get it right, they get it right. The spice in this is nice. So far, this is the spiciest one, and I love the scene in this particular book. What I like is that Pitt, he's the one that stands out from all the others. He's like almost the ringleader. He took the fall. He went to prison to cover their asses. He did that for them. This guy was in university and he was planning to become a lawyer. Okay, a lawyer. He ends up in that gray area between legal and illegal stuff. He is living in that gray area. And then we have Luke by Tiffany Patterson. And in this one, Luke, he is into martial arts, kickboxing. He is an MMA fighter. This is how he has been surviving. He owns his own gym, but he lost someone very close to him and he's struggling with that, and everyone thinks he is a washed up fighter. And then we have Sid. She wants to train him. She wants the world to see, listen, he hasn't lost it. He may have lost his way, but he has not lost his ability to fight well. It's a struggle for Luke to accept Sid as his trainer because, first of all, she is a woman and that's the last thing that he's thinking about. As a matter of fact, he think what he's doing is a-okay. He doesn't realize that his career is just going downhill. Now, they have this third act breakup, which I didn't really like. It didn't take away from the book, but I didn't really like it in that she kept secrets. I love secrets and lies, but I don't like when it's used in that way because she held some information back from him and that created like a whole mess, which they obviously worked out, right? And then I read Deacon. I actually owned the physical copy of this book before I even read it. I didn't even read the blurb. I just bought this book because I'm trying to build my IR library, right? So in Deacon, at first when I bought Deacon, I thought, hey, he's probably like a deacon in a church or something, right? And then he's going to get corrupted. No, that's just his name. That is just his name. And in Deacon, we meet Noni. So Noni and Deacon, they met in Vegas. Her friend was getting married. They met up and they had a wonderful time. At that point in time, Noni was single. Turns out their one night in Vegas resulted in an unexpected pregnancy. So they meet up and she explained the situation. He gets excited until she tells him, my fiance and myself want to raise the child and we want you to sign over your rights. Deacon, he is living in the grayish area. And Deacon, he's like, listen, I didn't have a father. I want to be present. And he manipulates the situation until he gets his foot into the relationship. He gets his way in between Noni and her fiance. But let me just tell you, I did not like that fiance. He is one manipulative bastard. I couldn't stand that man. Thank goodness that Luke showed up. That Luke came and showed her the light because this man was taking advantage of this sweet girl. I'm also reading the K&K matchmaking series. So far, I've read 9 out of the 11 or 12 books that have been released. And I will continue to read it. Some are hit and some are miss. So I'm going to put up the ones that just couldn't cut it. These books here, they just could not cut it. Yes, it's novella. Yes, it is an Insta story, but it wasn't done right. Now, y'all know I like thick books. I don't really do Insta love. It's not a favorite trope of mine. And I don't mind doing novellas. I don't mind reading novellas, but it must make sense. These were either too rushed or I just wasn't able to connect with the characters. The story probably wasn't developed properly, in my opinion. I probably couldn't stand the characters. Listen, these I just wasn't feeling. Okay, now these are the ones that I'm feeling. These are the ones that I could connect with. Bad Boy by Kasey Martin. Big by Imani Jay. Jock by Tamarin. Villain by Loren. Rouge by Kayla St. James. And Beast by Rayne Mallory. These are my favorites. So basically, what the K&K matchmaking agency is about this agency that match people with their different types of cravings, with their different kinks. They match people within the human realm as well as in the supernatural, paranormal realm. So in this book, we have some shifters and we have some elves, right? So we got some paranormal. We also got some contemporary romances in these Insta-Lost. So let's begin with Bad Boy because this was the first one that I enjoyed by Kasey Martin. So in this book, Bad Boy, the heroine, she does her assessment, right? But she goes out of the way and puts a werewolf, thinking how it's just for kicks. Turns out that who they partner her with or who they linked her to was a werewolf, an alpha werewolf. And it turns out that, boom, she was his mate. But it turns out that she had dormant werewolf genes. By them getting together, it triggered those dormant genes and she becomes an alpha in her own right. I cannot wait for this book to be turned into a full story. And then we had Villain. Now, Villain almost did not make it on this list. This was almost a Loathe kind of book. Almost. The ending turned it into its saving grace because the ending had me, this now makes sense because I was confused. So in this book, the heroine, she's going on a business trip. She gets there and someone is stalking her. It's told from dual perspective and I'm like, dude, this guy is stalking you. She wakes up, the guy is there in her room and she allows this stalking guy to do stuff to her. I'm like, why aren't you screaming? Is something wrong with you? This is not normal, right? And typically, I don't read romance books with stalking in it. Turns out that it was her husband and that was their kink. I'm like, what? What? Now, this is making me want to read one of those romance books with a stalker because if it turns out to be something like that, I have no issues. Unless they are really like complete strangers, then we will have a problem. And then, oh my goodness, Beast by Rihanna Mallory. Now, I read this book here by the author. And now, one of the characters featured in Alpha Rise is in Beast. And he wants his mate. He wants to find his mate. She is tired of the dating scene. The agency matched them. They go on a date at a restaurant and he smells and realizes that she is his fated mate. He couldn't speak. He was just growling. You know, when a werewolf shifter starts to act up. Y'all know what I mean. Y'all read paranormal romances and he's like, "Arr, arr." You know, that kind of thing. Like all in his chest, he's like, you know, can't control his animal tendencies and stuff like that. So that was happening and she was like, who is this weirdo? What is going on here? She had no idea that paranormal beings existed. If you take that as an option, they're going to look to see who's the best person for you, who's the best partner for you. And then Rogue by Kayla St. James. In this one, it starts off in the paranormal realm with elves. And he is a bastard and the king wants him to retrieve something. So he's sent on this mission. He goes on this mission and he is transported to the human realm. He has no idea at all about the human realm. He didn't know that it actually existed, right? So he's just like a lost cause in the human realm. And this girl, she is now getting back into dating. Her friend gave her the card. She did the assessment and they matched her with a guy. Now her thing was elves. She likes elves. Like that is her, you know, her kink. So this guy walks in, right? The guy that was transported to the human realm. He walks in and she thinks that he is her date. And in her mind, she's like, oh, he's really taking this to heart. Like full costume, the elf pointy ears, and she's just in glee. They talk, they connect, they go back to the room, you know, they get busy. The next morning, he's like, I'm not from here. And she's like, what do you mean? It turns out that she was stood up by her actual date. This one, the story was really interesting. He had to, you know, fight. All right, Jock is your opposite attracts. So we have this gym buddy. He runs the gym. He's big and strong and muscular. And he's tired of gym buddy females throwing themselves at him. He wants someone small, someone petite. He's matched with someone small and petite. And he becomes her instant protector, right? What I like about this book in particular is that you got to see a little bit of them in the future, how their relationship turns out. Yes, it was a whirlwind romance, insta connection, insta everything, but you got them a couple of years in the future. That is what I particularly like about this book. And then we have Big by Imani Jay. If you did not know, Imani Jay writes a lot of insta love, insta loss books. So this is just right up her alley. And she did it well. Her writing in this book was good. I enjoyed it. In this book, the hero and the heroine, listen, they're big people. They are big people, not in terms of size, but in terms of maturity. They are not on games. They are ready for solid relationships. They want something that will last. And so they are matched and they meet. And it's like, yeah, let's do this. I liked it. I liked that there wasn't lies, there wasn't secrets, games. It wasn't like miscommunication. It was just a really nice read. I also read Loving the Rogue and Loving the Wolf Prince by Tamika Brown. Now, this is part of a series. The series is ongoing. It is the Spring Lake Pine series. These are novellas. Maybe eventually, once all the books are completed, it's going to be put into one book, but these are really quick read, and I am enjoying these books. In Loving the Rogue, we meet Elise and Michael. Elise, something strange is happening to her. She has no idea what is going on with her. Like, she's getting these visions, but she doesn't know what it means. And she keeps envisioning this wolf and this man. Turns out that they accidentally meet, and Michael realized that she is her mate. However, Michael lives on his own. He doesn't live within a pack just because his wolf is so aggressive, is so alpha, and he was also turned by force. And now the person that turned him wants to try to control him to do what he wants. This book, it's okay. It's not one of my favorites, but I am happy that I went on to book 2, because book 2, Loving the Wolf Prince, is where it is at. Michael and Elise's story, nothing really stood out for me besides Michael Wolf just being like almost out of control and Elise figuring out that she's a witch. Those things stood out to me. It wasn't spicy. It wasn't predictable because I had no idea where the story was going, so it wasn't predictable. It just wasn't as wowing as I wanted it to be. Now, Loving the Wolf Prince. Now this one this one I absolutely enjoyed way more. Way more. Now, this book isn't spicy, but I absolutely love the story because it's giving me war is coming, and I'm all about action and adventure in my books, especially with paranormal romance. So we meet Nakira. Nakira got this dream that someone from her school was going to die in a car accident. She got this dream. She told her mother told her nothing. She has no idea what to do with this dream. She sees Devin. He approaches her. They talk, and they really enjoyed each other company. Turns out that on his way home, he got a call that his friends got in a car accident and he was supposed to be in that said car, but he didn't go into the car because he was talking to Nakira. So when she finds out that the accident happened, she's flabbergasted, and then they become friends. They get together, and then she gets a dream about Devin and about a war happening and him dying in this war. And she gets this dream on a regular basis. They went to college together. Her mom never told her that she was a witch. Never told her she was a witch. She was just getting premonitions all this time about her boyfriend dying. Devin, he is next in line for his family wolf pack. But if he dies, then what is going to happen? We just have somebody else to get the pack. We know it's all connected from the first book into the second book. I don't want to give too much away, but this series have me intrigued, and we'll leave it as that. Just know war is coming. I hope it's bloody. I hope there's lots of action, and I hope I don't have to wait too long for the next book in the series. Loving the Rogue was a miss for me. I just didn't enjoy it as much. It is a good book. It is a good story, but I personally didn't enjoy it as much. But I'm so happy that I went on to book 2 in the series, Loving the Wolf Prince, because damn, that book is a hit. And I'm going to read book 3 because war is coming. Nakia is getting premonitions. We have 2 awakened witches. So we're gonna get action. And hopefully book 3 might be more spicier than the first 2 books. Do any of these titles resonate with you? Have you found any gems anything that you'd be interested in reading in the ones that I have enjoyed. If you have, comment down below and don't forget to subscribe. The button is down below. Click that like button as well and hit the notification bell so you'll know every time I upload a video. Happy readings, and I'll be looking out for your comments.